your involvement on Compact?
My name is Ketcia Peters, and I'm the Haitian representative on Compact. So my role is to bring forward the issues that concern the Haitian community here in Ottawa. I've been on Compact for almost 4 years now, and I also lead the Knowledge Management Working Group.
Okay, so you're very involved in Compact.
I am, yes. It's a initiative that I keep very close to my heart.
Really?
I do.
Okay. So what are the issues that the Haitian community has with the Ottawa Police, as you see, as you understand?
Well, I find that from my experience that it's really difficult to just pinpoint the issues solely to the Haitian community. As a black person, the issues are very interrelated in terms of the Haitian community, the African community, so it's a black community issue overall. But overall, the black community seems to be dealing with a lot of racial profiling. That's their perspective of their relationship with the police. They feel that they get profiled for no reason, and they feel that the police has a bias against them.
So when community members get together, often they share stories or they talk about stories they've heard of other people having run-ins with the police where they feel they've been racially profiled.
Exactly, or if they're going through a process in the justice system, knowing that my role is to bring forward, some of the issues, they'll come and, share those stories with me. And I try my best to be a voice for them on Compact and to bring forward, the issues and the experience, sometimes negative that those individuals has gone through.
Yeah. Well, this must be sometimes difficult for you.
It is. The challenge is that I'm a community, I would say, I don't want to give myself the name leader, but I'm very involved in the community. So being a person that wants to be part of the solution, I tend not to have, any issues with that. I'm a professional woman, so I don't really always understand that perspective of getting profiled. Police officers, when they pull me over, they treat me respectably and things like that, and I know how to communicate with them. But that's not always the reality for other folks. Some community members are young, some of the black men are young and not always educated. They come from poor backgrounds, and their approaches are totally different. And I think because of that, sometimes they're unfortunately, targeted, or sometimes they do not know how to handle a situation, such as, when they get pulled over by the police, there are certain rights or certain, there's a process that takes place, and they have to, to obey or be assist the police in their work pretty much as possible.
It strikes me that teenage boys in particular are under suspicion generally in society, and black teenage boys probably even more so. Do you think that's right?
That's our sense. We don't have data to prove that perspective. Although we do have a program right now that we're working on. It's a project to identify, we're collecting through the data race collection project. The Ottawa Police is collecting data on trying to understand, which group get pulled over or stopped. And we don't really know what those data are going to tell, what story they're going to tell, but right now we're trying to collect some kind of information about it. But so far, the perception of the community is that, yes, they are targeted more than other groups.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In addition to these sorts of projects, I understand, too, that the police try to go out to community events to show themselves in another light than, say, as a person of authority. For instance, pulling people over or dealing with them in the justice system. Does that happen as well with the black community? That's correct.
They do. They have done a great job in participating in community events outside of, doing their day-to-day business. And this is one of the, goals of Compact is to push, the police service to make themselves seen in the community in a different light, not only just during critical incidents, but also just on a regular event where the community are celebrating positive things, right? And the police has been very good. The auto police anyway has been very good at committing to presenting, being present at events with community and policing issues.
Okay. Now you say that you're involved with knowledge management or knowledge, is that what it is?
The knowledge management working group. So we've established several priorities for Compact, and one of the priorities are to come up with some knowledge management practices, because community policing is for a lot of people a new concept. What we describe it as is the way that the auto police goes and do their job, by also including the community as they are doing their job. So this is a major step towards opening communication between the government and community members. But this is a fairly new initiative, and we've also realized that our greatest assets, our key resources, are the people that are involved in this, in this initiative, and the high amount of expertise and experience that they have. So we've identified the need to establish some knowledge management practices in order to protect those tangible assets. So that's pretty much my role and my team's role as a knowledge management working group, is to be able to protect those, the experience, the best practices that we've accumulated over the years, and to make sure that that knowledge could be passed on or shared with other, hopefully police department or cities or, nationwide. That's really an ambitious goal, but it's a goal that we have.
Really? So is there any other thing about Compact that you'd like to share, or you want to tell me about it?
I think that what some people do not seem to realize is that it's a very difficult role that we have, being between the police and the community. We do get to learn about community policing and community business, so we get to be more compassionate. Like, we start having a little bit more compassion for what they do, because some of the police officers, we work with them on initiatives, and we get to know them personally, so we get to know them as human, and we see that there are everyday people. There are fathers, there are brothers, there are uncles and sons, just like any of us. And their job is very difficult, and they never know how the day is going to turn out at the end of the day. So we, as community leaders that work closely with them, we become very, sorry, my French is coming out. We become very, not concerned, but very understanding of those challenges. But at the same time, we have to be able to always bring forward the issues of our community. It's not always easy, that while the police officers are doing their best, but we'd also always have to remind them that there's a lot of room, there's plenty of room for improvement. And that's the hardest part. Some community members feel that because we work with them, that we tend to forget about their priority, but we don't. We really try to keep the balance between understanding what the police has to go through and the way they do business, and also having them, meet us in the middle ground to also, provide a platform to increase, to improve the relationship between the community and the police.
That's fascinating. So you're overall very happy, or you find it rewarding to be part of Compact, to work in this area.
Yeah, it's something that I said I keep close to my heart. I myself come from a very less fortunate background, and anything could have happened to me just based on the environment that I was in, and I could have easily fell into the crack and become part of the justice system. So knowing that, because I've gotten to know some people that today their life didn't turn out the way mine has, I do have the compassion to understand that anybody could fall into the wrong side of the law very easily. So I'm very passionate about, being that voice, kind of not teaching, but sharing with the police the reality that poverty is an issue for people that end up in the wrong side of the law. And they need to be aware of that. They have to be aware of that because a young boy grew up in a less fortunate background, and they made friends with another young boy in that community, and both boys grew up, and one of them become very a professional. They get their education, they become professional, a father, a family man, and the other one end up making poor choices. They end up in the wrong side of the law. But these two boys could still know each other and have some kind of a relationship. And but the police sometimes tend to criminalize people just because of their association, and those kind of education are very important for us to bring forward to the table, to let them know that there's other issues, there's other root causes sometimes that bring people into being associated with criminal individuals, or even themselves getting involved sometimes in not so positive situation based on other root causes. So it's really important to really understand all the elements that are at play, really.
Thank you, Ketcia.
Oh, thank you very much for the time. Really appreciate it.